Hello, Timeless fans. So, we are back from our 2-week hiatus, and if I look redder in the face than usual, it is because I live in California and the sun was not my friend this weekend. So, most importantly, Timeless. We actually got to travel back to 1692 Salem, and we're in the middle of the Salem witch trials, and we witness somebody being hung in that time. So we just get a little taste of that. And the next thing we know, we're back in the present and we get to see what's going on between Wyatt and Jessica, who made a miraculous return last week. Well, 2 weeks ago. And so it seems like they aren't, like in this timeline that has happened, they don't get along and he's away for long periods of time and doesn't answer her texts. So basically Wyatt's a bad husband in this scenario. And we still don't really know exactly if Jessica is the same. And we at least learn that they are technically still married, but they have a lot of issues between them. But we're gonna talk about that throughout. So the big thing was that Wyatt actually does tell Lucy about Jessica because she calls because the mothership goes back to Salem and she needs to know where he is, and he tells her Jessica's alive. And Lucy is obviously heartbroken about this, and I mean, understandably so. But she's supportive and she tells him that he has to make it work since that's what happened. So basically, I guess we can say that Wyatt is kind of on a break right now. I don't know exactly what's going to happen between them, but so close. And we actually learned that the mothership went to 1980s San Diego and apparently erased Jessica's killer. This happened like after the 40s, and we don't know why they did this. They assume that maybe it was just to distract Wyatt, but I'm still going to hold on to my theory that Jessica has something to do with Rittenhouse. So far I'm part right. Rittenhouse had something to do with it, but why? That is the answer we still don't know. We'll find out. So in order to go to Salem, they need somebody to take Wyatt's place, and of course, who volunteers but Flynn? And like there's a whole argument going on back and forth, and eventually like Lucy actually convinces them that he should come because he knows a lot about the timeline and he can help them. So all three of them go to Salem in 1692, and they meet. Her name is Abaya Franklin, also Abby for short, and she's actually Benjamin Franklin's mother. And we actually learn that she is accused of being a witch, even though technically in history she wasn't. There were supposed to be 8 accused in this moment, and instead it's 9. So they don't know who accused her. But the problem with her dying in that time is that Benjamin Franklin won't be born, and he basically, well, he definitely had a lot to do with a lot of modern democracy, and he really developed the country at the time. That was my cat. So, yeah, that's a problem if she dies in that time. So they're trying to figure out who ratted her out, basically, and they assume maybe it was her sister, Bathsheba. And they go to her house and they meet her husband, and it's kind of an awkward situation, but eventually, after Flynn gets rough with the husband, they learn that Bathsheba did not rat her sister out, but she did rat other women out, but not her sister. So Rufus has a theory that this man with a scar there is a sleeper agent for Rittenhouse. And he assumes this because Gia told him about a vision that she had about him killing a man with a scar on his face. So this actually kind of makes him a little paranoid because he assumes that because he kills this guy, that must mean he's Rittenhouse. But so far, they don't really have any proof as to if that's true or not. But so eventually, they are back at the tavern. Yeah, I couldn't think for a second. They're back at the tavern, and who else shows up but Lucy's mother? And she accuses Lucy of being a witch. And first of all, ouch! Like, your mother telling the townspeople that you're a witch in 1692 Salem? Not good. And this this is actually because Lucy's great-grandfather, Keynes, is telling Lucy's mother at the beginning that he doesn't trust Lucy and that she needs to take care of it. So this is her way of taking care of it. Not really a good way of taking care of it. And, I mean, her family is just terrible. First her father, then her mother, and now her great-grandfather that she doesn't even know. Like, they all want to, like, either be Rittenhouse or off Lucy, however you say it. And it's like, you really feel bad for Lucy, especially in this episode. Like, at least she had Wyatt at the beginning of the season, but now she doesn't have him, even. And this actually kind of all dawns on her while she's in the cell with the other accused. And she's actually, I mean, Lucy could seriously be a great motivational speaker, because even in the worst case scenario, she always knows the right thing to say. Like, she tells the women that even when people try to bring them down, they still stand up for themselves and they take a stance against what's wrong. And she really admires that. And it kind of inspires Lucy, like, I'm not going to be Rittenhouse just because they want me to be. And she knows it's wrong. So I really like Lucy's development in this case, because it's really given her a lot of character growth, especially with what we've learned about her background now, and she is saying, no, I don't accept this, which I think that's really, I like what they did with her. And it's only episode 4, that's awesome. So, we haven't seen the last of Lucy's mom yet. She actually sneaks into the prison and she hands Lucy a knife, even though she just wanted her to escape to join Rittenhouse again. Lucy completely, declined the offer, and she said, I'd rather hang. Which, ouch, again. But her mother still gives her the knife, and she still is hopeful, Lucy will join them, but she also doesn't really want to see her daughter die. She's actually kind of having some doubts about Keynes, so I think there's going to be, an interesting showdown between them at some point. Not sure if it's going to happen soon or end of the season. We'll find out. So, okay, so Lucy and Rufus are in trouble, and Flynn actually manages to get a rifle, and just as they're about to hang Abby, Flynn shows up and he shoots everyone, not everybody, but he basically creates a distraction and the women are able to get away. Lucy actually saves the women that are supposed to be hung in history. And basically Lucy at this point is screw history. She doesn't care anymore because she doesn't want to watch innocent people die anymore. And I think it's kind of interesting. I wonder if that's going to have some kind of big effect on the future, though. We'll find out. But so basically while they're escaping, Rufus runs into the man with a scar. So he's actually not a sleeper agent, because we learned that Lucy's mother is the one who accused Abby. But this man still wants to kill Rufus because he was accused. And Rufus is trying to convince the guy, just go home to your family and I don't want to kill you. And just when you think everything's going to be okay, the guy gets run over by a horse carriage. They didn't even see the guy? I don't know. But yeah, he dies right there and then, and Rufus feels terrible because he was trying to prevent the death. He didn't want any blood on his hands, but because he knew what was going to happen because of Gia's vision, it led to that moment, and so he feels guilty for that. It's all complicated. So when they return to the present day, Rufus tells Gia, like, please don't tell me about your visions anymore, because it basically just messes with his head, and he just doesn't want to have to be responsible for anything that happens. But I wonder if Gia's going to have a vision of Rufus dying, and then she's going to have to tell him about that. Then he's going to be paranoid all over again, and that could lead to his death. I don't know. It's the thing. It's complicated when you predict the future, or past, or however it works. So, back to Wyatt and Jessica. He convinces her to meet him somewhere, and he's trying to tell her that he's not the person who she thinks he is, because things have changed. Like, obviously, they've really changed. They technically didn't happen. And so to convince her, he actually takes her to the bunker where they're hiding, and he shows her everything, and she meets Mason, and she's kind of starstruck, which is cute. And Wyatt basically tells her the whole truth about everything, which I was surprised about that. And I'm surprised Agent Christopher and Mason were okay with that for the most part. Agent Christopher was a little skeptical about it, but it's not like she actually kicked her out or anything. And they actually show Jessica the time machine coming back, so she'll 100% believe them. And unfortunately, this kind of leads to an awkward moment between Lucy and Wyatt as she's emerging from the mothership. It's just kind of like, there's kind of like this tense moment where they're looking at each other, and Lucy's like, she just isn't looking at him the same way anymore. And then Wyatt sees Flynn, and in that moment you really see like betrayal on Wyatt's face. He's really kind of bothered by the fact that they invited Flynn to go with them instead of him, because Lucy told him that they didn't need him, when technically they did. So I get the feeling there's going to be more tension between Lucy and Wyatt now, so Wyatt's kind of back in that place, in a different way, but oh, writers. I mean, I love what they're doing, but you still feel frustrated. Alright, so to end the whole subplot with Lucy's mother, she returns and she tells Keynes that things were taken care of, but he knows that it didn't work out, and instead of keeping Lucy's mother on the job, he's gonna have Emma take care of it, which, you know, she's basically like a ruthless killer at this point. And like, she's really like changed from season 1. She started like just the sleeper agent, then she was the driver for Flynn, and now she's like the assassin for Rittenhouse. Like, whoa. Really a big change for her. So yeah, that's basically the episode. And we don't know exactly what's going to happen with Wyatt and Jessica, because they basically kind of left it with a cliffhanger there. Like, is she going to trust him? Is she going to stay with him? Is she Rittenhouse? I'd like to know. Because I don't want to root for her, really. I'm sorry, but I believe in Lucy and Wyatt. Which, I know they're going to have a fight at some point. It's not going to be pretty. And is Flynn gonna take over Wyatt's place, or... because they can't have 4 passengers in there. We're gonna find out. Next episode, we get to see Kennedy, a young Kennedy, and it looks like they bring him back to the present, which I don't exactly know what that's gonna cause, but we'll find out. Alright, so what did you guys think of the episode? I thought it was really good, and I liked, like, this episode really had great character development for Lucy. Like, I think each episode, or not each episode, but every time she's betrayed by her mother, every time she's disappointed by something that happens, I feel like she really grows as a character. Like, she realizes things have to change. She can't be the person she was, and she's just really proven to step up when she needs to, which I think that's amazing. That's not easy. And Rufus is always awesome. I hope he gets like a really, like a centric episode for him. Rufus-centric episode. That would be cool. Maybe in the next one. We'll see. Alright. So I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and the video, and I'll see you next week for Timeless. Alright. Have a nice night. Have a nice day. And I will see you next week. Bye.